Hello, welcome to my channel. It's good to have you here. My name is Gemma. I am an advanced occultist. I'm a criminologist and mother. So, in these videos, this one, I'm going to talk about, I think I'm going to talk about something. I think it's like the tree, and it had something to do with that. Usually it does. I usually put it in there somewhere. But I want to talk about, really about like attachments. I want to talk about attachments. I want to talk about how it works, like in an aspect of like putting it to you in a theoretical perspective so you can understand and grasp it if you ever were to like invoke or do practical work, just so that you can kind of see where we're coming from, because you need both sides. You know, people say, oh yeah, you're a theoretical, magician or something like that, and then you're like, and then you get the people who are practical and they're the ones taking action, and it's just like not necessarily a different. Well, there is a difference. There's a big difference, obviously. So there is a difference, but there is an understanding that takes place, because you have to have both. It's almost like sitting there with the left side of your brain and the right side of your brain, and it's almost like you have to incorporate all these understandings before you start invoking stuff, because if you just start invoking things, you don't even know what energy that's carrying. And let's be honest, you don't know what that energy is carrying. And it's almost like people can, I'll get into that, but yeah, here goes. So I did something. So I'm gonna get into something right now, and I guess they're all full of programs and stuff like this, but if you invoke aspects of I know I love energies, because this is how, like, this is like it comes down to bring it down. Like, if you know you love, like, for you bad guys out there, like real bad guys, like, if I was sitting here listening, talking to if I was a probation worker, how would I bring this to you? So what you got to do is you got to sit with I know I love energies, and you have to. And the reason why is because if you don't sit with I know I love energies and like sit with it with your love intact, like your energy intact, if you don't sit there with I know I love energies and understand from that perspective, like who you love, what you love, and stuff like this, and bring that into you, right, into your Torah field, not the book, your Torah field. I know I love those things. You can bring that into your energy field, right, and then obviously like you have to get rid of all the residue that people want to push onto you. So if you can do this, I know I love, then if you're a selfish person, because there's a lot of selfish people in this world. So I'm just hypothetically going there, because this is like a probation work offending thing. I've got my little hat on, right? So if I know I love, and you've got to think, I love my family. Who do I love? And you hold that in your heart, and then you just think to yourself, how can I then think about how I can change the other people? Like, how can I treat other people? Okay, because you've got people walking around and they have no understanding of that. And I'm Venus 6th house, so how can I bring this to you? Because I have Venus in the 6th house, it's mercy, is it? Oh no, it's not, it's beauty, right? But it's Venus energy, so it's here, right? So it's this bit. If you can put that into your own perspective, so where's your Venus? What house is it in? Where's your where is that I know I love energies? Where's that Venus sit in yours? Okay, so you can bring something to the table. Everyone can bring love to the table in all these fractions. Everyone can bring some form of love there. Okay, so this is why I say they can switch, but it shouldn't be switching on a societal perspective. It should be a personal one, the growth of a personal perspective. So wherever your Venus is, so you might have Venus in the 4th house, well, that's there. You'll fit lovely there. What about 8th house? That's an aspect of love. With love, we gain we help others with love to help them to gain splendor. So, because I'm 6th house, service to others. So when I say Venus 6th house, I mean I'm serving others. So how can I help you understand from a 6th house Venus perspective how to serve others? And it is for selfish people out there because they don't know how, and nobody ever told them, and nobody's ever going to know if you don't tell them. Okay, so this is like just a learning thing, and this is why I'm doing it. I'm teaching because I'm North Node 5th house, right? I'm teaching it. So you might have Venus in 6th house and 3rd house. You come to understanding. You might have that there. You can bring that to that understanding aspect. I mean, you can do it anyway, naturally, because it's all connected. But you can bring an aspect of that to there. And it can, depending on your conjunctions and stuff like that, if you want to really get into your astrology, but just for basic stuff, like Venus, you might have Venus in your 2nd house, you might have Venus in your 1st house. Wow, we need Venus up there. Need some Venus up there. Okay, I know with love. That's a beautiful one, right? So this is kind of how you can bring I know I love energies into your world and promote aspects of service to others. Because if you've got Venus in the 3rd house but it's like Capricorn or something, you might still, like, you're a big playing factor because you have it in a fixed cardinal sign, Capricorn, but you're doing it with, you have a Venus there. So it might not be as, the same as a Pisces, but it's still it's a masculine love. And if you can bring it with an aspect of understanding, it's beautiful. It's beautiful because you can fill that sphere in your life with love. Okay? And if you might be a selfish person, or you might think that you're a bit selfish, because sometimes I think I'm I used to anyway, not now. Like sometimes I used to think I was selfish, because I used to like be by myself a lot, and I'm quite a hermit. That's another thing. I think that's on there somewhere, but that's another time. But like it's almost like being able to express that. So your 3rd house is about expressing. So if you've got Venus in your 3rd house, that's a really nice place to put it. That's a really nice place to be, because you can bring so much good into these areas. So this is why I like my Venus, because it's here, and it's almost like this is where I feel like the tree's broken. Okay, this is why I talk about it a lot, and this is why I talk about my Venus energies, because it's broken type thing. And it's like, if people have Venus in the 6th house, this is such a strong placement to be, and you should use your energies. And so, and I think that if we come to a understanding, a probational understanding, like helping people understand maybe how we can bring love to this world, this plane, and then this can acquire aspects of support. So my Saturn's there, so I can do this, but I might do this very, because it's in Capricorn, I might do this in a very stern way as well. It does depend. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person just because you have a strong masculine energy there in that area. Because 9 times out of 10, I don't want people to help me. I want to help myself. So I'm quite an individual. I'm really an individual in them perspectives. So yeah, let's just get in. So this is how we can sort of bring with I know, I love, and then what you love, and just sort of use that energy to then project onto the world. Because the thing is as well is that if you're using your negative energy to project onto a world, it can be destructive. And the reason why I say this is because, and I do say it with love, it can be destructive because if you have a big gauge on the world, you might be projecting that for everybody. And if you're trying to do it through like 369 energy, this is a manifesting code. You're projecting that not just for, you're projecting that for a world. You're not projecting that for You're not just protecting that for yourself, for splendour. You're doing it to take out that side of the tree, and then everyone's falling into aspects of either judgment or this part, the moon, smashing the tree concept. And it's kind of like, how are you going about this? Why are you actually transmuting that energy, or are you just taking it all in and then just throwing it back out there, like, and using manifestors to do that, because that's an aspect of destruction, and it's not good for this plane. And this is the reality. Like, if you want to regenerate and have resources, you can take, and then obviously it's almost like mining for oil. You can mine for oil, and then obviously when it gets to the point where you take too much, like that land like collapse, for example, pothole might collapse, you need to move on to another space to let that regenerate. Okay, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying that's how you have to see that, so that it's not like it's completely bad, da, 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 da. No, it's not completely bad. We probably do need to go on thinking of how we can renew things, like Tesla's really going out there trying his hardest, and he's doing electric cars and stuff, so that it takes away the pressure of the oil in the lands, because we took quite a lot. But we can understand this as it's not necessarily, it's a transferable energy. So it's almost like I can understand Elon Musk, because he's trying to transfer that, so that there's not too much gauge of oil because of the land and the resources, because you're going to end up with loads of potholes. Everything's just going to sink into the ground if we keep going at it. So we can understand climate change, and we can understand Tesla. I think it's Elon Musk, how he is transferring resources, electric, to use instead of taking too much land resources, natural resources. He's trying to do it in a renewable way. Okay, or I don't know, stick some solar panels on a car or something, I don't know, at the top. Make your car like a solar panel. It's like one big solar panel on it. I don't know, I'm just saying random stuff, but this is how you can generate ideas, instead of just generate the ideas instead of just taking it all in and then in it out. You need to it's almost like you got to figure it all out, and really think and contemplate how you're going about this. What is actually what is your goal? Is it just to gain that, or is it to do it with love? Is it to fix people's trees, or is it to break it? And if there's a natural consequence to that. And the reason why, so I'm 369, and there's a reason why I say this, because I was born March 6th, and then obviously numerology makes the 9. So I was born March 6th, and this is in America. It's a Western number, but I am in the Western world. I'm in the UK. I am in the Western world. So it's kind of like, if we see it like this, the middle of the world is Sweden, isn't it? It's where it's day all day, and I think that's the middle of the world. Even though on the map it says it's the UK, I don't know what that means, but in the middle it says it's the UK. But it's not. It's actually Sweden. So the Western world is kind of like effing for Sweden, because that's the middle of the world. Because the sun's there. It's almost like in the North Pole. I think it's light for half the year, and then it's dark for the other half of the year. Sweden's the same in some respects. So it's really interesting how that fits into our maps. But it shows that's a middle, or it shows that it might be in the middle of the plane. It could be the bottom. But what's in the middle? So if we understand the Western world as America, UK, and then some of part of France and maybe a bit of Germany, then there's Sweden that's in the middle, and then the rest of them, that's the Eastern world. That's how it should be seen. So hopefully you get me with this, because we look on a map, we can see that makes sense. So if Russia and all that's east, China, that's the East. So how I understand this is that I'll go through American numerology, because that is the West. We are in the West. Hopefully you're following me with this. And like on my astrology, it's the same. It always falls on them same numbers, 369. So this is how I can understand it and depict it. So if you're using me as a manifestation tool, right, through processes and stuff like this, you're trying to use me as a manifestation tool, all you're going to do is create a world that is like rubbish, because I'm a manifester. I'm not a projector. No, I'm not. But I'm a manifester. And like, if you want to create these realms and realities in my world, it's going to manifest and it's going to manifest outwards naturally. So if I didn't have a good upbringing, well, I don't want that to be manifested, do I, for the whole world? I want to heal it. So this is why I have to sort of speak. This is why I have to, really get out there and talk about this, because I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen for my children. I don't want that to happen to yours. Right? So this is why we have to regenerate. We can't just go around just being destructive with our energies. You might be going soon, but it don't mean that you're not going to come back through again. I know people have come back through. I've said this before. And they're good. Okay? So we have Venus and we have the Sun. So this is why, with love, I do love. Right? So this is it. But it's like, with love, I do love. It's that energy. And it's so simple. And, this is why we should, because we have our own fields. Let's get into chakra points. We have our own fields. We have our own energy field. So we have I love, which is there. This is why they all do this. This is why the Freemasons, they all hold they do this. It's I love. It's not weird, is it? You're holding your arm like that and go, I love. It's not weird, is it? So I'm holding mine. I know I love. Hold your heart. Just feel that. You feel like absolute rubbish. Feel it. Feel your heart. It's there. And it's an energy field as well. So it's your chakra points. So it's I know I love. And if you don't want to, that's up to you, innit? You want to go around dashing people, that's your lessons for your next lifetimes. Let's get into attachments. So, we're 8 minutes in, we're on attachments now. So, yeah, attachments. I just really think that the honesty of this is like, you can be thinking you're going to create a space of change for betterment of the world because and something happened to you and this, and you just actually you're taking on people's trauma and then you're recreating it into a world. So I don't know who you've been invoking. Or, you can see it like, I don't know who's attached themselves to you type thing. Because I know about this in a theoretical perspective. I can bring it to you to help you understand if you've ever experienced something that, might have challenged you, right? So what we've got to realise is that are we projecting whilst we're having an experience like that? Well, that shouldn't be taking place, because you're going to then project onto a whole world this energy. You're creating it, creating spaces for it to take place. So you're smashing your own tree, right? And you just don't ever feel satisfied. You could be like really popular, big in the game. And I don't mean to be rude or anything, I'm just being honest. You might be really big in the game. Your tree might be smashed. Because what it took you to get there. This is why people say, oh yeah, when celebrities and all that, they end up like losing like, something about themselves. And they're talking about the aspects of like, they're talking about love, they're talking about emotions, they're talking about feelings. That's what they're talking about. And, Some people are good though at what they do, and some people can just encompass that love that comes with it. But with love, we don't go around hurting people, because you smash your own heart. And the reality is that if you smash your own heart, because that's all you're doing, because in the end you'll do it, and then you'll be like, yay, and then there's a rush of feeling good, and then after that it's just like, oh, what did I do that for? Right? You might get, you might get something really good, and you're just like, oh, you're just here messing about. I'm not being horrible to anyone. I'm just actually just explaining the kabbalah and the processes within this, and how attachments or ideas, even you can use this as an idea, how ideas can be pushed into us to create space, and it's destructive. You don't rise on that tree. It's up here where this area is more of a, this is an area of support. So if you're just going here, projectile vomiting how you feel, so this is like the rappers and all the music, I'm not having a go or anything, I'm really not, because I do understand some of that stuff and I've listened to it a lot. So it can push us into judgment, or it can push into just feels back down again. This is where you're playing here. And but you do get some that are up here. In Mercy we speak as a hierophant. You can wear a you can wear a cloak all day long. We know this in 3D realms. You can wear a cloak all day long, and there might be not very nice people. So they might be wearing no, I'm not going to say, but in the past, in the history, they were like Christians and they wore cloaks, and the priests and stuff, they wore cloaks, and then they were destructive. They used this energy wrong. It's a completely different energy. They're not there. They're somewhere else, right? So that priestly energy, just because you wear a gown don't mean no. I'm just saying, just being honest. Okay? So this is how we can understand attachments, how it can bring you forward and make you in a guise of something. Ultimately, it's deep within you. And it's understanding aspects of how we can go about this. How do I want to project myself? Do I want to project myself with love, or do I want to project myself to push people into aspects of judgment? And I've obviously done my video on Satanism and judgment, and obviously that's out there now. But I just wanted to be able to help people understand what a judgment is from that perspective, without going, because there's some people out there, they're down here. They ain't even up here. They ain't. They're down here. And there's a lot of people that are playing factors in this. But I'm just going to try and give it to you, so you can understand, so that you don't go around just destroying people's lives, stealing people's energies, because ultimately it just falls back onto you. Ultimately, you're in your own demise, in your own destruction. You will be your own understanding on these planes. When you get what you want, I do want this, I do want that, I do want. That's where you are. It's like saying, let's go for marriage. I do want to be married one day. I feel like I want to marry. I do. But once you get there, you don't just rise. You just marry, don't you? It's a 3D concept. And then, it's an act of developing over time. If I've been with someone, because to be honest, I need spiritual, I need emotional, I need, I'm asking for a lot. I'm asking for a lot. And I know a lot of people just sit there and look at me like, oh, can't you just be happy with? And it's like, no, I can't. Right? So this is kind of how I am. I kind of have to have a fulfilling relationship with somebody so I can be there. And if I can't, then I just won't. It would just be pointless to me, because it won't fulfill me. Okay? There's no space to fulfill me. If I don't have an emotional connection with somebody, it's so simple, isn't it? But if you don't have that emotional connection with somebody, not even just in bouts, but just like that emotional connection with somebody, you know, that stable like connection, then it's kind of it drops, you know. And then you get wandering eyes and you get all that, and it's just, that's child's play to me, and it's just like little kid stuff. It really is. And I have to be hypothetical when I speak about this. You know, it kind of is, because it's like you're like a teenager again or something like that, like a little kid, like when you're like all 40-year-old men and you're like walking around wandering eyes and that's like whatever. I was listening to that song Wandering Eyes when I was like 15, 16, you know. So it kind of like, that's kind of like where the analogy comes from with that. But when you're older, because I'm 35, you kind of want a bit more. You do want that, you need it, and it's because there's a developing taking place within us, and it's natural. So you got to think, if I don't know, depends how long you've been with someone for. If you've been with somebody for a long time and you're still down here, what's the point? It's not fulfilling. You bust your tree. Your tree's bust. There's no development there. There's no processes developed. I mean, I guess you can be with somebody and have fulfilling relationships outside of that, but then no, I don't think it works like that, because I think people tend to get jealous. I think jealousy stirs. So I think it really depends. It's hard because you could still have that with other people as well, which is groundbreaking. It works. You have lots of friends, because I'm South Node Aquarius Virgo, so I can understand that, having lots of different friends, filling relationships, or different in areas where, you know, you're learning with other people in different areas. But it's almost like once you get right high on the top, you're meeting people that are up there, and then you've still got people down here trying to reach for you to pull you down. So it's interesting, and I've noticed this. I'm going off on a tangent a little bit. I'm supposed to be talking about attachments, but I guess it is an attachment style, you know. So you can see this anyway. You can understand this experience as an attachment in a spiritual realm. Whoa, we're going out there. An attachment styles in your relationships. Okay. So this brings me back onto another understanding. See this? Freemasonry, and they do this. Who don't love a Freemason? I'm not hiding something. They're holding her out. And if the baddies, then they're not Freemason, are they? So let's get into this one. So I went there. With love, we protect our hearts and gain access to more splendour. Well, that's okay. That's this part. Then you got to do I do. You got to do this kind of thing. It's kind of like, with love, I do acquire access to more splendour. And then down, and then I'm emotionally fulfilled. It's simple, isn't it? So, with love, for myself, I do gain access to more splendour. And with emotions, so I am emotionally fulfilled. But then there's acts of support. But you can't be half-hearted, because if you're half-hearted, you never rise. You don't. So if you don't rise if you're half-hearted, and then you've got to go here in this concept and think, how am I giving back? Oh, I'm just going to give back to one. This is no offense or anything to you guys, you Freemasons or anything like that. I'm just giving analogies, so then like people sort of grasp where I'm coming from, so they can rise higher. So you know, I'm not trying to debilitate an understanding of this concept. I'm trying to bring it to you in a different way. So this can be, oh yeah, I'm going to give to a charity to give back. But if you're doing something in ill will, you're breaking this. But because you might be happy with going around doing that to people. If you're a bad person, you might be happy with going around doing that to people, and then, oh, we're going to give back here because then we can give back to one people, and then, oh, it's going to be okay. No, it's not, because you broke your tree here. So you've just broken it all again. Because you might give something back and you think, that's not good enough. It's not good enough. And it's this bit. because you're just falling back to this. You fall back down again. It's sad. I'm just trying to explain it though, like, because I don't want to be critical to people who, are, because everyone is rising. This is a life journey. It's a whole lifetime of learning, and it's forever. And we're always learning, we're always rising, we're always coming to understanding, we're always growing. And the reality is that we can rise to this and give back, but we might fall back down here, smash our tree here, and then we don't feel fulfilled again. And it's like, why isn't this happening? Why aren't I fulfilled? I've given this, I've done this. Why isn't this good enough? It's because it's a projection. Are we fulfilling ourselves here? Ultimately, we might feel like we are. We might feel like we have them things, but are we actually projecting that for a world basis so that we can give back and it be fulfilling, so we can then rise to the triad? Okay. So to go back to attachments, this is what I said before, we utilise other people for this. We obviously not utilise, but together we work together to rise. Because if we don't, we're breaking the trees, and then ultimately you break your own tree in the end as well. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, we're not doing it in a negative way, where you're just going to give me worthless dross, or you say to me, "Oh, you're going to have nothing." As a connotation to understanding this is what it means. You're going to have nothing. You're not going to have all this. We're going to smash your tree. And it's just like, well, if you do that for me, it's going to happen for you, or it's already happened for you. And then you're not going to grow, and I'm not going to grow. No one's going to grow. We're just going to smash everyone's trees and sit down here, which is not very nice. It's very rude, and it's not fulfilling, and you won't be fulfilled. You can have all the money in the world, you can have all the love, you can have all the emotions, but you're still going to end up with a smash tree, and then you're just going to do it to everyone else. So I'm talking about ideas, I'm talking about relationships and stuff like this as well. And ideas, well, yeah, ideas, I guess, if it's not a good idea, I think it's a good idea at first, you really got to really assess, like, whether it is a good idea. Well, are we actually going to promote this? What are we going to promote? I'm not judging you, but I'm just saying that it's an understanding aspects of attachment styles. And, like, we can, for example, through understanding mental illnesses, we can have attachment styles that might be avoidant. Okay, so this is like avoidant personality or something like this. We can be avoidant because we've been through trauma. So this can also make us feel like we're unfulfilled here. So it's almost like then we've got to work on ourselves, our emotions and ourselves. So sometimes it is just this part here. And this is why it's almost like this part can be disabled naturally, because this part here isn't fulfilled in our lives, in our relationships. We might be looking at media to give us this, but we're just falling into aspects of this, because it is literally a low hanging, the concept of a media, especially if it's not supportive. It's here. Oh, let's watch the news in the morning, let's smash our trees. I mean, I don't know, like, I don't obviously acquire, I don't to that, because it's an aspect of breaking somebody's tree, isn't it? And you're pushing people into mental illness doing that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you can walk away, go out. If you're doing that to people on a daily basis, it's alright, you can just walk home and then smash your own tree, because it's already been smashed. And it's never fulfilling. And it's almost like everyone's looking for something. Everyone is looking for fulfilling, something to fulfill us. And, people get mad about it because they don't know why. And it's just like, this is why. And I just wanted to say that. And I'm not having I'm not having a go. I'm just being a mother, okay? Just being a mum, okay? Jamal, I'm being a mum. No, you lot are you lot. I am me, right? I'm not here to cause chaos. I'm just here to try and help people understand that how attachment styles can work, and how we can rise together or we can fall together. And ultimately, if your tree's broken and you're trying to push it on somebody else, that's not fair, is it? because that's not how this is meant to be. With love, I know. Okay? And then we rise together. All of us.